Welcome to the resolution of Digimon Beatbreak Episode 5's cliffhanger. Picking up right where we left off, this episode does a lot to pay off what Episode 5 set up. Though I must say there are still plenty of questions this brings about the world that I still question. Now my digital friends, we dive into Episode 6 of Digimon Beatbreak, The Bond of Parent and Child. An episode that dives into deep emotional bonds and themes of honor and justice in a world that seems to have left much of that behind, at least on the individual level. So without further ado, I'm sure you want to hear about what is happening in Episode 6. So let us get to this, and I think I'm feeling better to not have to edit out minutes of coughing this time. I'm really better. Maybe. We pick up right where Episode 5 ended as Astamon fires at the prone Pandamon. His energy bullets slam into Pandamon. Gekkomon is shielded below their body. From out of nowhere, Chirpmon does some face hugging, and Wolvermon blasts him with fire as they appear on the scene. But as an ultimate level, Astamon is largely unfazed by these attacks from a rookie and a champion. But with the many bullets, Pandamon has enough energy to use one animal nail as an air slash towards Astamon. Yukari decides that it's time to retreat, which is pretty lucky for our team as moments later, Pandamon passes out. We see Pandamon is in bed as Gekkomon begs to even share his siblings' pain. These two have formed an incredibly strong bond about such deep things, while Gekkomon seemed to first form this bond as a way to possibly get more food out of the deal. It could be that he formed strong bonds easily. We're still early on to know for sure. The other Glowing Dawn members were supposedly tracking Gekkomon's owner for a bounty, so it does explain how they were in the area. But boy, that seems awfully convenient. They were tracking down this bounty out of the 100 or so that we've seen available at Garando's? Well, the Gekkomon's owner is Machida, another illegal owner who does side gigs like Machmon's owner did. Tomoro knows Yukari of the Koala Kai hired him because he mentioned it during the fight. But he have also hired our watch thief from Episode 1. We just don't know about that one yet, but it could be something that is tying everything together, and I'm kinda hoping so. Reina thinks he might lead them to the one who is linking bounty intel. Since bounty info is supposed to be regulated to these intel brokers and cleaners, I guess that does make some sense. They need to find him to make up for the lost Gekkomon bounty. We have been told in previous episodes that only the leading Digimon owner can come forth to claim a bounty. Turns out Astamon and Yukari have a whopping 1 million credit bounty. So even though they know it is an ultimate, they seem set on pursuing it still, even though Kyo is nowhere to be seen at the time. We return to Yukari and a silhouetted man, Mr. Nawa, who are talking in a car. With cleaners involved, they need to hurry things up to get these evictions going. Mr. Nawa seems to be the one finding him talent. He'll raise his finder's fee if he can just hurry up and find some more workers, likely Digimon owners. Back at the town, old man Sadasaki disappears from the town as Pandamon is still recovering. He goes alone to see the thugs of the Koala Kai. He offers up his life to save the town. This is a clear indication of who he is and what he believes in. But the bad guys just aren't interested. Killing one old man isn't going to get them what they want, the town being destroyed and evicted. So they use him to send a message instead. They beat him up and send him back. Seeing his state in town, everyone is devastated. Even while bedridden, Boss tells Pandamon not to go. He must protect the weak instead. That the way of chivalry is to bear the unbearable. Bear puns! Okay, I know they aren't intentional word puns, because that is just not how Japanese works, would have the same puns as English, but I'm amused at least.
Ah, waka waka! Tip your waitress.
Leave me out of this!
Tomoro isn't impressed by this, saying off to the side that he should stop carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders, that he can rely on others for help. Tomoro, you may be saying that, but you could learn that lesson too, with the cleaners it seems many times. Gekkomon wants to go after them, seeming to care so much for Boss and a sense of justice that we just haven't really seen out of him to this point. Given the feeling that he is still young and quite impressionable, Pandamon wants revenge too, but he must listen to the boss. His honor does not allow him to abandon the weak and innocent, yet. Gekkomon and Tomoro meet to head out, but the other cleaners are onto him by now, jumping in as he's leaving to tell him to not leave his family behind. Now this might seem convenient, but he's been pulling this disappearing act on them often enough now that it makes sense.
Fool me once, shame on me, but fool me twice, fiddle-dee-dee.
I half expect there to be a Find the Chirrupmon in the background of some scenes, as they keep an eye on him at this point. Pandamon decides to leave his jacket behind at the bedside of Boss. Seems it did not take him long to abandon that honor code. On the road, the party meets Pandamon. Pandamon cries as he says he's no longer Boss's child, as he is disobeying his orders. Here is where the episode cuts to commercial. Since I'm not cool enough to have a sponsor section here, this is just a quick, hello, my name is Rordrik, and I cover all things Digimon. If you don't want my boss to disown me, why don't you like this video and make sure that you are subscribed so you don't miss any more Digimon news. Leave a comment down below of what you think is the best part of Digimon Beatbreak so far. All of those things I'm supposed to say as a good YouTuber here. You know the drill. Thanks. Meanwhile, Koala Kai HQ, Gekkomon and Chirrupmon are seen outside the windows. In a severe case of overreaction, Astamon shoots out all the windows of the top floor office that they are in. Everyone attacks together, crashing through the door and windows, including Pandamon, but they aren't enough to do any real damage. Astamon moves to counterattack, but Yukari says no shooting in here. The damage has already been done, dude, but, alright. So Astamon stabs the ground into the mirror world. Everyone falls into the mirror world, except for the random thugs standing around the room. Well, we just forget about them. You'll never see them again. Yukari says to leave no one alive. This will be important, as it is a cool line, but pretty much everyone will forget about it soon. As Astamon rains bullets down on them, Pandamon slashes the shots out of the air, but it's clear they can't keep up with all of them. Vurumon picks the rookies up and starts running toward them, doing quite a bit of a Sonic impression this episode. They team up, riding Wolvermon until she gets hit as she runs straight at him. Chirrupmon carries Gekkomon in a straight line until he gets close, so he eats Gekkomon. Now I'm no strategy expert, but going in a straight line at someone with a machine gun?
Not a great plan.
Yeah, Reina's leadership quality display in this episode. Gekkomon gets some of Tomoro's E-Pulse and is able to move quickly enough to get around Astamon and knock his gun away. But Astamon in return gets some E-Pulse too and uses it to slam Gekkomon into the ground from a very high height. Pandamon picks up the fallen gun and aims it, but Astamon has Gekkomon underfoot and at knife point. After a discussion, Pandamon trades the gun for Gekkomon's life, which, of course is a trick. He said no one leaves alive, so they should know there was never a plan of mercy here. But in the middle of all this, we cut over to Mr. Nawa, passing off an envelope to a motorcycle driver to make the delivery to Yukari. Kyo is there and confronts him, finding Mr. Nawa is with the Ministry of Civil Protection that we've heard so much about. It seems he is the one leaking personal information, which seems like the Ministry could be very interested to know. Based on our Watch These Reaction episode 1, this is likely very bad to be caught. Murasamemon catches the motorcycle driver, who has a directory copy. Using physical media in the digital age was a way to not leave as clear a trail that people would check. Now with that brief bit of plot out of the way, we return to our hostage negotiation. Astamon goes to shoot Pandamon, but his gun explodes. We flash back to Pandamon breaking his nails off in the barrels of the gun when he picked it up earlier. Now, if you actually look at all the screenshots, you cannot see the nails are broken off in there to give you a hint that that was about to happen, but it's clever. So I will give them a pass on it. I do like it. I do kind of wish they included it so you had an idea to see it, but it's a minor nitpick. Despite Pandamon not really having a classic owner, we see his core and paw glow with a golden light, like an E-Pulse charge. Pandamon puts all his E-Pulse into an attack to defeat Astamon. He's willing to give everything to make sure he never harms the innocent ever again. Sounds familiar at all to Tomoro in episode 3? Sure, I guess that was stomping a baby Digimon, but still. With that attack, Astamon fades away into white. We don't see it pop into a baby Digimon in Sapotama like the others. As Pandamon is fading away, Gekkomon comes to share his E-Pulse. They share everything, and even repeats Pandamon's words about dying together. They explode in a golden light that knocks Tomoro back. We pan over to see that Kyo is here, and he brought Boss? How is he suddenly here? Why is he so hesitant to help his team? Why would he know to bring the old man with him?
Well, you got me. By all accounts, it doesn't make sense.
I think there are just questions about Kyo that we'll never truly understand here. Surprising only a few of you, probably, both Digimon are fine. Gekkomon's E-Pulse supplemented Pandamon, so he wasn't deleted. But given the reaction from Makoto, this seems like a surprising thing. Might it have been helped because Tomoro's E-Pulse is special? We'll see if we ever get any more clarification later. Boss reprimands Pandamon about his behavior, using the words that Tomoro said earlier mostly, about carrying too much weight on his shoulders and showing off. He gives him back his coat and says Pandamon's still his child, stating they should never abandon their sibling, even to do what he said, or he'd have kicked him out on the spot. Now, how true this really is, or just an excuse as he understands what Pandamon meant, that's up for debate. Pandamon is starving after that battle, so he gives Pandamon his E-Pulse. The way the others stare at Pandamon nomming down on his arm makes me think this isn't how the other Digimon feed normally, likely using the Sapotama for a more subtle feeding. The Golden Dawn leaves in Yoshi's cab, with Gekkomon full of tears promising to come back. Rina is asking why the bounty is halved. We know why. If you look closely in the taxi, you'll see that Kyo is holding a Mokumon. This is likely the Ostamon after it was defeated, but I suppose it could be someone else, and that's why she's asking. Maybe Pandamon's big attack wasn't enough to delete it then? Tomoro tries to bond with Gekkomon by offering him half and half with his food, showing he is willing to compromise with him, but Gekkomon takes all the food for himself instead, showing that he was far more willing to bond with Pandamon than with Tomoro, it seems. And that is where episode 6 ends. I may have been a little harsh on episode 5 for not making as much sense and being a little slow, but it makes sense with this episode. The town being full of meat and Pandamon operating outside of cleaners of the ministry still doesn't make much sense, but the emotional core of the episode is much better due to the work of taking the time to do it. Even if Gekkomon bonding so deep with Pandamon over Tomoro is a bit weird at this point. Maybe Tomoro was a little too hard on him, so he's having a hard time getting over it to come back and return? I'm still quite surprised with everyone down and against a powerful foe we did not get a Digivolution yet. At this rate, Gekkomon is going to compete with Guillamon for time to Digivolve, as that happened in episode 8 of Tamers. With an ultimate babysitter around in Murasamemon, it does make the danger feel just a little less many times. But maybe it will come in episode 7? Our preview for episode 7 is wild. The images on screen do not match what is being said, so we'll look at what is being said, then what is being shown. So Tomoro is asking Kyo not to go, but Kyo believes he can do it. It seems that they're talking about is Tomoro having to cook breakfast. As we saw in episode 3, they do take turns making food. Kyo sounds like he is leaving to go take care of something, all pretty innocuous stuff. Though on screen, we see someone being attacked and finding a cold heart man lying there on the floor. We get a better look at what appears to be a black Galgamon. Things must be getting serious as Murasamemon is getting back into the fight in Digimon Beatbreak episode 7, Nirinso, which could be someone's name or is also apparently a flower? Hope Tomoro isn't that desperate to find food, he's going to cook flowers. That is everything for Digimon Beatbreak up to episode 6. Thank you all for watching. We'll just have to wait and see if the leaking information builds into anything more. If you're looking for more talk about Digimon Beatbreak, here's my review of episode 5. Or if you're looking for another Digimon video, here's one YouTube things you might find neat. Stay tuned after this video as we'll be going over who is coming in the first round of DLC for Digimon Storytime Stranger next time. So much to talk about, I hope I'll see you in the next Digimon video.